Hello, my name is Valerie Stack Dodge, and I want to tell you about my uncle, David Benjamin Patterson, who was killed in action in France on July 14, 1944. He was my mother's brother. My mother was Ruth Patterson Stack. She was only 17 when her brother died. David was only 23. David was a private in the 331st Infantry, 83rd Division. His division, which was also known as the Thunderbolts, landed on Omaha Beach on June 23rd of 1944. They were sent to the town of Auxaise, which had been occupied by the Germans. The Germans had dug in to stop the Allies. Their battle with the Germans began on July 4th. It was an intense fight. Sadly, David was killed only 10 days later. The 83rd Division did successfully liberate the town of Auxaise by the end of July. My husband Paul and I had the opportunity to visit Normandy this past June. We had an amazing guide named John Fletcher. He had requested information about my uncle in advance, and he researched David's journey. We were taken to the village of Auxaise, where we were greeted by locals. The residents, historians, and even the mayor of the town came to greet us. We went to the exact location of the battlefield where David was killed. We were driven in a World War II Jeep by a local man dressed in U.S. Army camouflage. The area was so peaceful. Farmland with roaming cows. It was hard to imagine the devastation that occurred there. The town has a permanent memorial to the 83rd Division on the site of a bombed-out church. I was presented with 2 bouquets of flowers, one from a local woman and one from our guide, to place on the memorial. I was also given a framed picture of David and his bride, Ellen. The locals gathered around my husband and I as we paid respect to David and to all the members of the 83rd Division who lost their lives. I was also given a gift basket by the mayor that contained treats from the Normandy area, including biscuits and jam and madeleines. It was heartwarming to know that the sacrifices made by American soldiers like my uncle were still appreciated, and that these heroes were not forgotten. And in fact, everywhere we went, we saw American flags flying around this area. Our guide then drove us to the Normandy American Cemetery, where David is buried. We arrived in time for the very solemn flag-lowering ceremony and the playing of taps. The cemetery is so beautiful. And because we were there just a week after the D-Day commemoration, there were American and French flags placed on every grave. We were greeted by a member of the cemetery staff who walked us over to David's grave. She also brought a bucket of golden sand from Omaha Beach, which is just below the cemetery. I was instructed to rub the sand into the engraved lettering on the white cross to make it easier to read. I was presented with another bouquet of flowers and another framed picture of David to place on the grave. Both of these were provided by our wonderful guide. This sounds a little strange, but Uncle David has a beautiful location in the cemetery overlooking the channel in Omaha Beach, and he is just 7 crosses away from Teddy Roosevelt Jr., the president's son and a Medal of Honor winner. He died 2 days after my uncle. The cemetery gave me the grave flags to take home with me, along with a folder of documents about my uncle, including acknowledgement of his Purple Heart Award. It was a very emotional day. It also included a visit to Utah Beach and Le Roosevelt Cafe, which was named after Teddy. I was able to sign a book of remembrances and also inscribe a dedication to my uncle on the wall of the restaurant. I am so grateful that I was able to take this journey to honor my uncle. I will end with this quote by General John J. Pershing. "Time will not dim the glory of their deeds."